What's going on, guys? Welcome back to episode 12 of the Custom Cleat Chronicles, featuring the last pair of the season made for our buddy Eric Ebron.
Start trying to stop the run. On 2nd and 12, Luck putting some air under it, has his man, it's Ebron, wide open, stumbles, was he in? Touchdown Indianapolis.
Now we know that this is going to be a pretty special pair for Eric himself, because this pair is going to be what he's going to wear during his first appearance in the Pro Bowl. We've been lucky enough to work with Eric during his 5 years in the league, but he really had a breakout year this year with the Colts as he amassed a huge total of 13 touchdowns. And so he got the invite to his first Pro Bowl, so we had to whip him up a really cool pair of cleats to wear during the game. And since we did a lot of cartoons and superhero themes for him throughout the year, we kept that up for the Pro Bowl as we whipped up a really cool pair of Carnage cleats for him. So today we want to walk you guys through the process on how you take a non-all-white cleat, canvas, shoe, whatever the case may be, surface, and turn it into absolutely anything you can imagine. So we're going to be starting with this olive and bone colored cleat that has this gold sole also. Now, as we've talked about in some of our other videos, it's really ideal to not have to paint the sole itself. So if you can come up with a nice base model that already has an ideal sole color that you can use within your design, that's going to be best case scenario for you. So this gold sole model was one of my favorite bases to work with throughout the entire NFL season, but since it has this olive green upper, you can run into some tricky situations on how are we going to turn this olive green into a bright vivid red. Even though green and red are complementary colors, how would we go about doing something like that? And this is one of the most commonly asked questions that we get of people running into trouble of trying to turn a certain surface color into another, and it seems they're not getting anywhere no matter how many coats of paint they're doing. And it can be tricky if you don't follow the exact steps to really lay down a nice primer or base coats to really get your color to be nice and vivid. So let's go ahead and start walking you through how we do it. So really, no matter what color surface I'm working with, whether it's black, olive green in this case, anything except white, if I need to lay down a base coat, chances are I'm always going to lay down a few coats of light gray first. To me, the Angelus light gray covers up over absolutely anything in 2 super light coats, and it gets you a super nice base that you can then lay down your color work on top of. So after 2 super thin coats of light gray, I know I'm ready to lay down some of the actual color red on top of this. And what I'm going to do is actually build up the red. Rather than spraying regular Angelus red right on top of the light gray, I'm going to build it up in a few different coats. So typically, after I have a light gray base, I'm going to try to do 4 more light coats of almost any color on top of that light gray. And what I'm going to do with that first coat is a mixture of roughly 75% light gray and 25% red. When I'm ready for the next coat, I'm going to do something like 50% light gray, 50% red. And when I'm ready for the third coat, I'm going to do something like 25% light gray and 75% red. Then when it's time for the final coat, especially if I know I'm going to be doing some design work on top, my final coat, that 4th one, is going to be solid red. Now I can tell you that this will work for just about any color. If you have a solid light gray base, you can build any color on top of that in just about 4 light coats with some of these build-up coats in between. And as a general rule of thumb, that's a pretty good number for me. It's hard to really kind of answer that question when people ask of how many coats should I be doing, because it really does depend situation to situation, such as what material you're working on, what color you started with, what your end result is hoping to be, meaning what color are you trying to do. So it's tough to say, but 6 super light coats is a pretty good general rule of thumb for me. And now we're ready to do some of our design work on top. So I always like to create a really cool background that's gonna really line up neatly with the theme that I'm doing. Here I'm gonna be doing Carnage, so I'm gonna lay down a couple Carnage characters, and then we're gonna go ahead and drop about a minute-long time lapse on the screen for you guys to see us doing some of the character work along with some of that skin ripping effect that we have near the front of the shoe, and we hope you guys enjoy. So we hope that you guys seeing us starting today's video with this bone and olive green pair of cleats, turning it into this bright vivid red pair of Carnage themed cleats, gives you guys the confidence to go ahead, try some of these steps, and really, you know, kind of amplify what you guys are able to do when starting with tricky base shoes, and really getting your colors to pop, and, you know, really keeping stuff wearable by limiting the amount of coats that you're doing so that you can get the color to be as vivid as you need in the least amount of coats possible. That should be your kind of end goal, to not just keep continuing caking on the paint on top of layer on top of layer. That's going to be one of the things that is absolutely going to destroy your wearability and durability when it comes to your cleats. So the least amount of coats that you can get away with to still get your colors to be vivid should definitely be one of your end goals. As always, if you guys have any other suggestions, questions, other things you'd like to see about cleats or any other shoes, we're always open to hearing the ideas that you guys would like to see in future videos. We greatly appreciate all the feedback you guys have been giving us. Go ahead and give this video a like if you haven't already. Make sure to subscribe to the page, and we'll see you guys in that next video.